Hey, so I'm not sick. Maybe I'm fighting something. I'm feeling a little under the weather today. But before I get into that, I'm Ellie. I help people take charge of their own health and wellness in their bodies by teaching them some basic self-care things they can do that have a big impact in their health and wellness and in their confidence in their body, so that they can do the things that are important to them in their life. So, what's going on? Oh, my microphone's a little loud. I'm going to turn that down. How's that? I think that's better. All right, so what's been going on with me? I don't think I'm sick. I was coughing this morning a little bit. I didn't sleep well. I actually have not been sleeping well for the last few days, maybe even up to a week, which is really important for us to have good days. I woke up today with a headache, which is not usual for me. I'm not usually a headache person. I've been low-key today. So no big pain issues, no, just blah. Yesterday, I did go live yesterday, by the way. I've been going live every day this month. And yesterday was day 7, and I went live walking out in the backyard using my phone. And I went live on YouTube. And I did not check it afterwards. I just assumed it would come up. And it did come up, but it went into a private place, so it didn't actually get sent out so that people can't watch it yet. Maybe I'll add it in. But yesterday I was talking about not having done the things that I said I was going to do for myself. And so that ties into today, because what I decided yesterday as a plan was to sit down and go over what's going on with me and how do I set a goal and then make a plan and follow through so that I can reach that goal. This is the process of figuring out what you need for your self-care and me. So I'm going through it myself, and I do this frequently because I decide I'm going to do something and then I stop doing it, which is not great, but it's also not horrible because I keep coming back to it. I don't let it go for months on end. I come back to it within a few days, really. But one of the things that I do have for my self-care is I have one of those Aura rings, and it tracks my steps. It tracks my sleep. And I've been noticing that in the past, my sleep, my good sleep, they score it. There's, I assume it goes from 0 to 100, so 0 if you didn't sleep at all. I don't know. But I have had some sleep nights where it's in the 90s. That's really good. But mostly it's in the 80s for me, between 82 and 86. This past week, I've been having I think I had a 67. That might have been my lowest ever. I had 71. Last night was a 71. And so I know things aren't ideal. And so to make a plan to get better sleep, I have to sort of figure out what am I doing that's interfering in my sleep. So that's one piece of the puzzle. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write it down. I'm a writer. I don't know if you're a writer. I love colored pens. but I write down, so, because it helps me think. It helps me think. So, my sleep has not been great. So, what things can affect my sleep is how late I go to bed. Now, we all have different circadian rhythms, and I tend to go to bed late, on the later end, and that is not an indication of poor sleep at all. Not if I do it all the time. If my normal bedtime was 9 o'clock at night, and then 2 nights in a row I don't go to bed till 11:30, that's a problem. But for me, between 10:30 and 11 is normal. So that hasn't been too bad. One thing that has affected my sleep, though, is that I've been eating late. We had dinner really late last night. So I think I need to take charge of that. So I'm going to write that down as one of the goals that I have. Well, the big goal being to get better sleep, right? So get better sleep. And so that means stop, eating so late. So actually eat dinner at a reasonable time. So no later than 7, let's say that. So eat dinner no later than 7. How's that sound? That sounds good to me. It's going to be hard to do because my husband cooks and sometimes it's late. But I can take charge of my need, and that is to eat earlier and not wait so late. So that's one goal, to get better sleep. I think that will go a long ways towards, and you know what, I'm going to stick with this goal. I'm not going to go on with other things, because there are other things that affect my sleep. Lately, I've been wearing earplugs because both my kids are home and they like to talk at night, and I can hear them because their rooms aren't that far from me. So I do let them know when I'm going to bed so that they can keep it down, but I usually can hear them, and that kind of gets in the way. So wearing earplugs. So I've been doing that, and that's been really helpful. The other thing that I think, my brain thinking, all the thinking of all the stuff. And I think, you know what, I think this is key. I think this is key to what's going on for me. I have been feeling overwhelmed. Overwhelmed in a way that I'm feeling pressure. And maybe that's what the headache is about. The pressure to do all the things. So I'm going to write that down. Pressure to do all the things. Because it's summer, there are trips that we want to do. There's music at night we want to go see. We, as in my husband and I. And I feel like I'm still working. I'm not retired. And I feel sort of that pressure to continue to work because I want to. I do want to work. But when you couple that with someone who's retired and wanting to do fun things, I want to do fun things too, but not maybe as frequently, because I also want to focus on my work. So that's sort of a colliding, what's the word? I don't know. But I think that's what's happening. So we're making plans to do a trip to DC. We're making plans to see our friends that we love to see and go see music some nights. And, you know, it's all of these things on top of my trying to work and have an income. So that, I think, is my overwhelm. That, I think, is my pressure that's happened for me. So another thing that I can do to help reach my goal of better sleep, I have two more things. One is, which I did this morning. Yay! I did some EFT. It's Emotional Freedom Technique, or otherwise known as tapping. And the tapping I did was more along the lines of just having a headache. And, what is the headache about? First thing in the morning. I don't get headaches first thing in the morning. So I did the tapping on having a headache. And actually, I think I did come up with that thought that I'm feeling like I'm under a lot of pressure. And the headache subsided. My low energy, sort of feeling tired, that didn't subside, but the headache did subside mostly. I still have a little bit. So tapping is another thing. I'm going to add that to my list. Maybe I'll share this. Oops, I was writing Patty. Tapping. Tapping. So if I do some tapping, and there are, I actually have the app, the Tapping Solution app, and there are tapping scenarios for all sorts of things in there, and I've made good use of those in the past. And then I take long periods of time where I take a break on it. So I know there's tapping on sleep. So if I do a tapping before I go to sleep to let go of all the pressure and the expectations, if I do that right before going to sleep, I think that's going to make a difference. So there's that. I also use another app called, I think it's just called the Breathing app. And it has a ball that gets bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller at the breathing rate that you want to breathe at. So if it was an inhale of 5, it would be an exhale of 5. And it also has a sound, like a gong, that increases for 5 and decreases for 5. And that has been wonderful for me for slowing my breathing down, for meditating and not getting caught up in my brain doing this going around and around and around cycle. So that's another thing that I have used in the past, especially if I wake up and struggle to go back to sleep. Then I will use the breathing app, and it has helped me a lot. So I think I have a plan for the sleep issue that I'm having. That's first. I know that I also want to put a plan in place for training to climb a mountain. I laugh whenever I say that. I don't know why, because do I not expect that I can do that? Because it's a fun thing. Anyway, so that's one thing I want to put a plan into place. So this will be another day. I'm not going to keep you. And then another thing I want to do is I want to talk about some real basic foundational strength practices, because I want to get stronger, but I also want to maintain the strength that I have now. And we need to, especially as we get older, we need to work at that. We actually need to have a plan in place to do that. So that's something else that I want to do is my strength exercise. I'm not a planner. Well, maybe I'm a planner, but I don't stick to plans. I don't follow through with structured things. I don't say, I'm going to do this at this time and this at this time and this at this time. I'm kind of a little all over the place. So this will be different for me. So that's it for today. I'm going to finish up, and then I'm actually going to lie down on my floor. I'm going to do my breathing, and maybe I'm going to take a nap. And I'm going to follow through with my plan to do some tapping before I go to sleep, to not eat after 7 o'clock at night. And I hope that's doable. I'm not sure that's realistic. But we'll see. You've got to try, right? And I'll let you know how it goes. I'm going to give it a few days, and we can check in a few days. But if you like this, follow this process yourself. Think of something that is maybe what's going on with you in your body. Maybe it's something you've been ignoring for a while. And it's time to actually take steps to make that change. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you're going to work on, that and set yourself a goal. Just put the goal in the comments. More walking, or better breathing, or better sleep like me, or no snacking. Put something in the comments. Let me know what you're going to do, what your goal is, and make a plan to get there. And then we can support each other. Because who doesn't like company when they're working on something? Have a great rest of your day, and I will be back tomorrow. I think I should be. I will see you then. Bye.